And now, without further ado, please grab your toasting drink, and I'll turn the mic over to Neighborhood House's Executive Director, Kate Scott.
Thanks so much, Joanne. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Legends Circle reception. It is so great to see so many friendly faces here tonight. Everybody who is here has played a significant role in Neighborhood House's history over the last 25 years. And in honor of our 25th anniversary in this momentous year, we've created the Legends Circle to recognize the generosity of time and talent and treasure that each and every one of you bring to our community. You are our earliest friends and supporters. You are our board members and trustees for life. You are our staff who have been with Neighborhood House for the better part of 25 years. You are legendary to us, and you will always be a part of the NHCS community. Our collective, this is mind-boggling to me, our collective tenure, the people on this call and the people in this group, tallies to more than 1,100 years of service to Neighborhood House. And the collective generosity in the Legends Circle is astonishing. More than $25 million donated over the past 25 years. It is honestly impossible to quantify the talents that you have each brought and that you continue to bring to our school, whether it is thought partnership or advice giving, a connection to a partner organization or a funder, the act of just rolling up your sleeves in service of our scholars and our families. Your contributions have truly been priceless. And I hope you can tell that I am genuinely humbled and grateful to each and every one of you on this call. We all know that this last year has been one for the history books, and as a community, we've been through challenging times. We've been through challenging times before, and no doubt we will navigate challenges again in our future, and yet the scope and the scale of this year's challenges were truly unprecedented. And it is with the unwavering support of the members of this Legends Circle that this year's challenges have been made just a bit easier, so thank you so much. Thank you to the Board of Trustees for leaning in and spending so much time with us and rethinking the possibility of what board leadership can be and reimagining how we can best work together to support the mission and the vision of Neighborhood House. Thank you, Trustees for Life. No matter how much time passes, your ties to Neighborhood House remain strong, and we know that our scholars and our families and our staff are always in your hearts. Thank you to those of you whose tremendous financial support has not only sustained us through the years, but ensured that our programs and ultimately our children thrive no matter what the circumstances. And finally, thank you to the small but mighty group of staff members who have dedicated 20 years or more to doing the work at Neighborhood House each and every day. You've been with us since the early years, and your impressive efforts have shaped this organization and the lives of our young people beyond measure. And I'm grateful to have you as colleagues, and I'm grateful to have you as friends. And that group is Emily Davidson, Karen Graves, Rich Minetta, Mary McNulty Anglin, Lee Raquelme, Sean Shirley Davidson, and Jill Worcester. I do want to take a moment to remember a few special friends of the school that we lost this year. Bill Bliss, former trustee and trustee for life, who shared his passion for woodworking with our students and his talents as a beekeeper with our gala guests. Chuck Grigsby, former trustee and trustee for life, whose wisdom, grace, and steady leadership were instrumental during our growth and set a wonderful tone for so many others. Anthony Simboli, father of NHCS board member Patricia Simboli, whose infectious passion for supporting youth and love for student art always built excitement at NHCS galas. And George Urban, father of NHCS board chair Christy Strawbridge, a champion of NHCS, who always understood that building connections with the students he tutored was a critical part of helping them to learn math. This year, we have collectively experienced loss on an unprecedented scale. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor and remember these fine individuals as well as any others you may have lost this year. Thank you. On a more joyous note, I'm excited to recognize 4 individuals who were instrumental in the founding of Neighborhood House a quarter century ago, a number of whom are here with us tonight. Beginning with Trustee for Life, Peter Reed, who is board chair of Federated Dorchester Neighborhood Houses at the time that charter school legislation was enacted in Massachusetts, proudly supported the establishment of the school. Charlie Cabot, founding board chair at Neighborhood House, who, though no longer with us, brought passion and friendship to the organization from its inception to our first expansion. My dear friend and mentor, Kevin Andrews, who led Neighborhood House for nearly 20 years as founding headmaster and who I still turn regularly to for advice. And last, but certainly not least, founder Kristen McCormick, who as a strong community leader in Dorchester and head of Federated, sat at her kitchen table and shaped a dream for equitable education for young people on her block into a charter proposal. Kristen, a little birdie told me that today is your birthday, so we have many things to celebrate and we look forward to drinking a toast to you. And before I do turn things over to you to toast this milestone year, I want to say if not for you, none of us would be celebrating this moment here more than 25 years later. So thank you for your vision and for your leadership. Without further ado, Kristen McCormick.
Thank you, Kate. I'll make sure everybody can hear me. I am so honored to celebrate the Legends Circle tonight with each of you. As I look across the screen, I see so many people who have made Neighborhood House Charter School what it is today. A community of diverse people who are dedicated to the love of knowledge, hard work, kindness, and above all, community. And nowhere were these values more apparent than at last week's inaugural graduation. For me, watching that graduation was an emotionally charged time travel episode. I heard and saw so much at a graduation, 25 years later, that brought me back to the early years. I'm like, what year am I in? The legendary years, when 51 eager kindergarten first and second graders burst through the front doors of St. Mark's on the first day of school of 1995. And Kevin, I know you remember that moment like it was yesterday, and you referenced it in the graduation as well. I cried then, and I cried last week. And it was because of the words of the graduation speakers. They brought back kind of a flood of memories from those early days. And because of that, I wanted to share some of the quotes from the graduation with you in case you weren't there. First, so that you can go back in time, because virtually everybody in this virtual room was there 25 years ago or longer now. And second, so you can appreciate the longevity of the impact that you have each made on the school, because that was really striking to me. So not my words, but school leader words, student words. I'll start with our founding high school headmaster, Jamila By-Granson, who said, Kevin, this must have resonated with you as well. She said, I still have not processed the enormity of the charge that I, along with our founding educators, were given by our families, board members, and student scholars to create a high school. Kevin, I don't know if you remember, but we used to look at each other with our eyes bug-eyed, wide open, and say, parents have entrusted us with their child's education. And Jamila, I only have one thing to say, which is you will never process the enormity of that charge. It's simply too great. We were struck by it every day, and it was so scary that we just move on to something else that needed to be done that day. And these words from scholar speaker Ali Olivier Mallet, he said, but it's the small things that make us unique. Our name as well makes us unique. Neighborhood House Charter School. It's not every day you hear of a school called Neighborhood, he says, But that's what NHCS is all about, he continued to say. It's a community. He says something that shocked me in those first few weeks at the school was that everyone seemed comfortable and there weren't any groups. Everyone hung out with everyone else as a community, just like a neighborhood. And of course, that was the idea. Couldn't have said it better. And finally, our class valedictorian, Ashley McCarthy, who says, 9 years ago, I took my first steps into the NHCS middle school building. I had a cloud of anxiety hanging over my head. I was truly scared. I was scared to meet new people, scared to start all over again. And most importantly, I was scared to learn. I entered Miss Canuto's class. This lady didn't even know me yet, but she gave me the biggest hug and told me she was excited to have me in her classroom. From that day on, I knew NHCS had become a home for me. One thing about this school is this, she says, you will never find a place with people who are more genuine, kind-hearted. This isn't just a community, this is a family. And there was so much more at the graduation. Reference to hard work, never giving up, did these sound familiar? Keeping an open mind and a kind heart, committing to the common good, always a milestone value. Our collective responsibility to make things better, not worse, regardless of the situation. So to those who are gathered here today, this is your legacy. We could only dream then that the community we envisioned for families, educators, staff, and scholars would maintain its spirit and its values 25 years later. But not to look behind, because this group has never been happy just resting on its laurels. The NHCS is a nimble organization. It continues to improve its effectiveness, to grow, to anticipate the needs of children and families, to expand, to meet the challenges of tomorrow, which led me to realize that the Neighborhood House Charter School has a superpower, and its superpower is its ability to always look to the future while never losing sight of its past. The values that anchor us, right, also allow us to really reach for the sky. And that's something that this school and this group of people will continue to do for the next 25 years. I want to thank Kate, Christy, all of our Legends Circle folks, everyone here. I can't start to name names because we'll be here all night and I'll just tell stories. But I invite you now to join me in raising your glass. Right, get you to grab your glass to toast this milestone year. And of course, we have an actual toast, which I adapted from a quote that teachers Mrs. Owusu and Mrs. Cooper shared at graduation, because I really thought that it embraced the Neighborhood House Charter School superpower. To the legacy circle of the Neighborhood House Charter School, it doesn't matter what's been written in our stories so far, it's how we collectively fill up the rest of our pages. So cheers to the next chapters and to the people in this room and beyond who will continue to fill its pages. Salud. Chin chin. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Jamila Bai Granson, founding high school principal. It is because of her leadership, her passion over the last 5 years, and it probably feels like longer than 5 years, Jamila, that we were able to successfully graduate 51 12th graders this year. Magic number, because that's the number of kids we started with. Anyway, take it away, Jamila. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kristen. And that is truly a magical number. Now it has even more significance for me. So good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Jamila Bai Granson, and I'm really excited to be here. I feel like I say that a lot, but it has been a year full of new beginnings as well as things coming full circle. And Kristen, I think you summarized that beautifully. And shortly you will hear from Aaliyah Ashley, Amariana Williams-Moss, and Luigi Daniel, 3 of our inaugural class of 2021 graduates and newly inducted alumni. So Aaliyah joined Neighborhood House as an 11th grader, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. And in that short time, she has made a big impact on our community and tremendous strides personally and academically. Her commitment to social justice and helping others is commendable and led to her achieving the highest grade in her art activism through mixed media course. Aaliyah's perseverance during this significantly challenging year also earned her the Virtual Scholar Award at our inaugural 21-day celebration in honor of the class of 2021. Amariana joined Neighborhood House in the 8th grade and has been a quiet powerhouse for many years. Her steadfast commitment to academic excellence bolstered her to be recommended by her teachers and myself as a nominee for the prestigious Harvard Crimson program during her 9th grade year, and has consistently placed her at the top of her class. This year, she was also the recipient of the first ever Kevin and Jane Andrews Scholarship for Excellence in Arts and Academics. And last but not least, Luigi is the oldest of 4 siblings who attend Neighborhood House, and after joining us during his 10th grade year, quickly solidified his position as a Renaissance man. Luigi is academically focused, admittedly one of the strongest scholars in AP Physics, and a wonderful musician who performed at this year's virtual gala and also accompanied our performing arts teacher, Miss White, vocally and on keyboard for our official school song at graduation. And you also heard his original music at the start of this program, and was also co-captain of the soccer team, who were the Southern Division champions for this year. Welcome, everyone. Hi, my babies. So everyone's doing a virtual clap for you. So the first question I will pose to the 3 of you is, what are your plans for next year? And what do you plan to study now that you are now alumni? And Luigi, I will start with you, or whoever wants to start first.
Oh, sorry about that. Hi, my name is Leah Ashley. I will be going to Emmanuel this fall, and I plan on studying public health and special ed, so I'm excited.
Public health is near and dear to my heart, Aaliyah. Awesome.
Hi, I'm Luigi Daniel, and next year I plan to study music in UMass Dartmouth, which is gonna include sound recording, sound designing, and working with very popular companies that's gonna help me find and study the basics of music. Yeah, very excited.
They should be very excited with the talent you're bringing. And Mari.
Sorry, one second. My plans for next year include attending UMass Amherst for 4 years in hopes of becoming a registered nurse. I'm a bit nervous about the transition, but I believe that NHS has prepared me pretty well for this transition. I'm excited to be introduced to the very family-oriented African-American community at UMass Amherst and hopefully find myself there.
Awesome, Mari. And Mrs. Bond is smiling. I see her, Donnie Bond smiling and on my screen as part of our Department for College and Career Preparedness. So Mari, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your process of finding your post-secondary path at and after Neighborhood House?
Well, my secondary process, was very useful at NHGS. I was introduced to college and career readiness class when I first transferred to NHGS in 8th grade. And that was the first time I ever taken a college and career readiness class. And it really taught us to become familiar with the words that we need to know, but I enjoyed working with all my teachers and CCP counselor. In 8th grade, we got the chance to experience a real life situation working with Miss Watson. We were given a financial status and then a partner, and you had to work around what you had basically. So you would have to find yourself a financial status, and you would have to do the things adults have to do. And that really opened our minds up to show us that like the real world, it will not be easy, but we are prepared. I also enjoyed going to many different college tours with Neighborhood House. Myself, specifically, I went to Bryant University and I really enjoyed it there. The campus was very nice, and that's part of the reason why I applied there. Um, that's pretty much it for me.
Well, that's a lot anyway, Mari, and I feel like we should have saved the work you did in 8th grade and then show it to you now to see if it still applies. I feel like that would be a nice project to do later on, probably for our current 8th graders for when they graduate as well. So Luigi and Aaliyah, how has Neighborhood House impacted your journey through high school and towards adulthood? What kind of supports have you had, encouragement, etc., and that has also spoken to you being challenged and for yourself growing in this process?
For me personally, NSCS has had a very positive impact on helping me feeling at home and welcome to the school. I remember when I first came, I had just came from Haiti. I had only lived in the US for like about 3 months and I had no English. But as soon as I came, everybody made me feel welcome. And with Mr. Partinsky, he really took the time and helped me get my English together and helped me do my classes. And some of my most difficult moments, like this year, I lost my friend. My friend died back in Haiti. So virtually, we were online, so it was kind of a challenge for me. But as soon as we got back in person, the support that the teachers gave me really helped me go through all that dark moment. So it has really impacted positively.
To add on to what Luigi said, I feel like I also received a lot of support from teachers this year. Like everyone was very understanding of the pandemics and like us transitioning into college. I feel like for me, NACS played a big role in me getting into college because I transferred as an 11th grader. In my other school, they didn't have any accommodations for my IEP and they had very large class sizes. But when I came to NHS, it was like everyone was trying to figure out how they could best help me. And it was really helpful. I feel like the teachers were a great support system and like the academics there really like challenged me and it made me want to go to school. Also, I feel like it was a large part of my growth and I'm just very grateful for the time that I spent there.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaliyah and Luigi. I appreciate that. And Luigi, I'm going to go back to you about, and I know you spoke to the passing of your friend. So again, my condolences. What were some of your challenges in being remote this year and how did you overcome them?
So one of the biggest challenge of being remote was that all me and all my siblings were all using the same Wi-Fi and we all had to have our own spaces so that we don't distract each other with the noise. So that was one of the biggest challenge. And then also it was very hard to stay focused and do the work that you have to do because imagine I usually am in bed, camera off, I can just take a nap whenever I want. But because at the end of the first semester, I was like in a rush to get my grades in to get back up. I was like I'm not gonna do that anymore. So I told myself I was gonna turn every assignment as soon as possible for the third quarter and just keep it that way until I have all A's, which I did for the rest of the years. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that you made that transition because the bed is very appealing during anything remote. And I think all of us can relate to that. So I'll pose this next question actually to all three. What did you like about being back in person? Because the 12th grade was the first class to transition back in before the state even mandated it to take place. So what did you like about being back in person, and what were some of the highlights for you for this year, your senior year?
So being back in person was personally very helpful for me because despite some of the things I didn't feel too comfortable talking about with my parents, my teachers were there for me, so I could like see them physically and, you know, talk to them about it. And I could see my friends again, which was very, very helpful because like I had just lost my friend.
Mhm.
And some of my highlights actually is because would be some of the soccer games actually. We really won the South this year and we made history in NHS. So that was one of the biggest highlights.
You absolutely did. That was huge. And those games were very exciting. Some were very cold though. I just want to say that, but it was a lot of fun. Mari and Aaliyah?
During my senior year, I really enjoyed coming back in person because I was very non-motivated really when I was at home doing virtual, and coming back and getting one-on-one help and being in the classroom, it really helped me. And it helped me be so close to getting all A's during fourth quarter. I just have one more class, but I'm really excited about it. But I also enjoyed prom and graduation. They were very fun. I was so excited to spend that day with the students because I was like, I really like our last time seeing each other all together, and I had a great time.
And you looked amazing and you danced a lot. Yes, you did. Absolutely. And Aaliyah?
I also had a fantastic time at prom. Literally the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. I didn't have any school dances before that, so it's really, really fun. I really liked being back like with paper, and like math and reading is so much easier on paper. And it's a lot easier when you have a teacher in person to come and help you. Like I aced almost all of my finals and ended with honor roll, but I would have never been able to do that. Huh?
That is fantastic to hear. And I know that you received the virtual learning award during our
Thank
21-day
you.
celebration. And the fact that I feel like this is a testament to that too, with you being in the car and being with us during this
I'm
time.
sorry about that. I had the last
No,
minute
it's
baby.
fine. I just want to highlight that because this is the work. And when we have individuals that are committed to excellence, this is what you do. So I just want to commend you on that. Okay, so great job. Thank you, the three of you.
Thank
And
you.
absolutely. Mari, did you feel a sense of responsibility as a member of the first graduating class? And if so, how so?
Actually did because doing virtual, I was staying with my best friend who was in the 11th grade, and I had to keep her on her toes and keep her motivated because virtual was really hard and we wanted to give up at times, but I'm just saying like we're almost to the finish line, so just keep on pushing. And I felt like that goes for all the students, and I felt like the way we worked and how we did it through this pandemic, it showed them that they can do this and that this will be them next year.
Absolutely, Mari. And for those of you that don't know, Mari's best friend is Cheyenne Eastman, who will be in the class of 2022 and actually told me at the end of our 21-day celebration, she goes, well, I'm working on being valedictorian next year. So I have work today. I said, okay. So clearly, Mari, your presence is felt. So great job on that. And Luigi, as our closer, what advice would you give to the class of 2022?
One of the advice I would give the class of 2022, especially my little brother, because he's going to graduate next year. So I would want him to be very responsible. Just do what you have to do or be the better version of yourself. And just like I'm doing right now, being a good example for the upcoming class, you know, that's one of the main things I would say.
Absolutely. And Luvendi, who is one of Luigi's 3 siblings that are still at Neighborhood House, has also said he is gunning to be captain and to outscore you and outplay you in soccer. So he also put that as a goal. So I'll let you know how it goes. Can we please have a virtual round of applause for all 3 of our newest alumni to Neighborhood House? They are absolutely fantastic and completely exemplify what legends are. Thank you 3 all so much. So proud of you. And I know Nicole put in the chat that we actually do have time for some questions. So if anyone wants to ask questions, whether they are in the chat or take yourself on mute, off of mute, to ask questions to any of our newest alumni, myself or any one of us here.
By Granson, may Mr. Andrews ask a question?
You absolutely may. I love the fact that you asked, though. That was awesome.
I want to ask the graduates this. What are they going to bring from Neighborhood House to the colleges that they're going? I really would like to know what they would bring. It may be personal, it may be what they learned at Neighborhood House, maybe something from home. What are they bringing?
May I please answer this first?
Absolutely.
I will definitely be bringing my endurance because I wrote my first 20-page paper at NACS, and it taught me that you gotta just keep going and just bust your butt if you really want to achieve your goals. So I would be bringing my work ethic and my perseverance with me.
I agree with Aaliyah, and I will also be bringing my work ethic as well as my personality, because NHS has taught me you do not have to change yourself to fit in, because people will just be attracted to your personality, and you will find a community that you fit in once you move on to college.
Yeah, and I would say, to add on to what they said, I would bring wonderful memories of all the good times I had in HCS. I'll never forget you guys, of course.
I have a question for Luigi, which is you're studying music, yes, and you brought some of your music to graduation. I'm just curious as to who some of your favorite artists are. Musical artists.
That is a hard one. Okay, so I would say I really like Beyonce. She is like crazy good. So I really look up to her. And there's like this producer, he also raps and sings, but he's not very popular, but he does a lot of tutorials on YouTube. So I follow him a lot and he's really good. And I've learned a lot from him. So his name is Simon Servida. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
So to the 2 female graduates who cited their perseverance and their endurance, can you tell me if you feel that you learned these things through NHCS? Did they, and if so, give us an example of how they taught that to you or how you learned it? Or do you feel that you were strong, enduring, persevering personalities before NHCS?
To be completely honest, when I got to NHCS, I was very immature and I didn't have much perspective as to like time management and like getting work in on time. So I feel like one way that I developed like a strong work ethic at NHCS is like I always like used to do makeup work to the last minute, but I always tell my teacher like beforehand, I'll be like, I'm gonna get it done, like I promise. And I would do like, even if it was at 3 a.m., I would do like maybe 50 assignments a night and bring my grades up from like D minuses, Fs to like A pluses. Like last year I didn't have not one term that I didn't have an F in my transcript. And this year I got all honor roll, and I was able to raise my GPA significantly. I was so proud of myself to graduate with honor roll. So I feel like that really helped me with perseverance because it gave me something to work towards, and it also taught me like what I have to do to like get there. So yeah, it definitely put like how hard work changes things into perspective for me. And the education there is very challenging, so you kind of have to like work hard to keep up.
I agree with Aaliyah. Before I transferred to NHCS, I didn't go to like such a great school, so my grades weren't that great. But once I transferred, they really motivated me to work hard, and I ended up with a 3.6 GPA and honor roll for every year of my high school career, and then every quarter. So I think that really motivated me to keep on pushing, and the teachers played a major role in that.
Thank you.
Those are amazing feats. And I promise you, we didn't tell you to say that, but that it just speaks volumes. And I will say that we see in so many different events, we will see so many different scholars and hear their stories. So I'm really excited that you're getting a chance to hear from these three. That's amazing. Any other questions? Hi, Christy.
Hi. You three are amazing. I'm totally inspired. So what advice would you give to your younger NHCS self, to the people who are coming up through the ranks? What should they cherish most about their time at NHCS and really double down on?
I would double down on the social experience because I transferred in the pandemic. I like didn't have too many time to like develop like a lot of close friendships, but the people that I did see that develop close friendships are really good friends, and like the community there is strong. I think definitely reach out to your teachers and definitely like use that family environment. Also like opportunities, like I think it's really important to be part of your school community, and had I had known that going in, I probably would have like tried to put myself in more clubs and stuff. Also like focusing on your academics is important, but also like giving yourself like time to take care of yourself and boundaries so that you can do good not only in high school but moving forward in college, and like seeing what connections you can pull from high school onto like adult life.
Absolutely, Aaliyah. Mari or Luigi, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I would say pretty much what she says. And like, if there's like one thing I could tell my younger self is to believe in yourself, because I didn't before. But well, as I came to NHCS, they believed in me, and I saw how much they cared about my success, and I did believe in myself too. And I feel like if I did it a little sooner, I could have done more, but it's okay, I guess.
Luigi, you've done a lot. That's outstanding. Mari, any advice to your younger self?
I would agree with Luigi, like just continue, you got this. Time will fly, so take in all the memories and all the experiences, but just never give up, because it is possible that you can do great and you continue to do great in college.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mari. Janice, I see you have your hand up. How are you?
I'm good, Jamila, very good. I'm feeling very emotional. Having listened to these three students and their reflections on their experience, it takes me back to some of the words that Kristen said about how the founding values of the school still have been so deeply instilled. I am wondering, I remember in the year before this school started up, working with Kevin and Kristen. You know, the motto, the full service school, succeed everywhere, succeed anywhere, and never give up on a child. I hear those things resonating so strongly in the students' comments. Are those still like the mottos of the school? Succeed anywhere and never give up on a child?
I think the spirit of them is there. There's 4 pillars, which I think are a better articulation, proving that the school improves itself all the time. The 4 pillars, and Kate or Jamila or anyone from the school can recite them, but they're actually a sharper articulation of what we meant to say.
Yeah, seek knowledge, embrace effort, act thoughtfully, and commit to the common good. But it resonates for me a lot, Janice, what you're saying, because I think that and it fits with what Kristen was saying before about like looking to the future and also drawing on our past. You know, the core beliefs about the type of community we want to have are really strong and solid and embodied in all of these young people. And I couldn't be more excited for their futures and more proud of what they've accomplished.
That never give up on a child just was underscored everything that the students said. The high expectations and not giving up, doing everything possible to let each child reach their potential.
I would add one thing on the never giving up. I think if you look at the seats we received at the time we established the high school, one of the big reasons we got as many seats as we did is very much because of that fact. And the fact that we kept our students. Many other schools that were applying for those seats found lots of ways to have students leave. And so I think it helped us in immeasurable ways. And I think it's one of the big reasons that we have the high school we do.
Yeah, and we just updated the language a little bit. Now it's, we don't give up on kids, so they don't give up on themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Might I add something?
Go ahead, Aaliyah.
When I transferred to NHCS, actually no other schools would take me. I applied to maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 different schools. Nowhere would take me. NHCS was the only place that would take an 11th grader. And if they weren't going to take me, I was probably going to drop out. So, and every time I've ever mentioned, I'll just take the F. Oh my God, I've had teachers literally try to fight me. Like, you're not taking an F. I'm like, I'll take an F. They're like, no. They do not believe in that. They really believe in trying your hardest, and they really push you. Like, nobody slips through the cracks there because they care about everyone. And I didn't have that at my other school.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah, for that. And I think it's really important for all of us to continue to hear that, because sometimes we think things are a single moment and we don't realize the impact, not only that we have on scholars, but absolutely that scholars have on us. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for Aaliyah, Mariana, and for Luigi for sharing your stories, your experiences, your brilliance, and your gifts here with us today, and for your time at Neighborhood House. Can we please have a round of applause for them again?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you all. Nicole, I would turn it over to you, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you. Let me just get my screen up. So that concludes our program. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm going to invite our graduates and anyone that's staff to sign off now. You are now free to go. Thank you so much for giving us your Thursday evening. And I know a few folks were hoping to stay on just to catch up and chit chat. So let's say good night to anyone else that wants to jump and move on with their night, and anyone who would like to stay on for a few more minutes to chit chat, you are welcome to do so. But now is the cue to hop off if you would like to do that.
Before people hop off, Nicole, I just want to, I think I get this privilege. I want to just say, I was so happy to see Kristen McCormick. Her comments were outstanding. And I don't think we give Kristen enough credit.
Oh, Kevin. I
really don't. I think
credit.
without Kristen's idea,
I need kids to graduate.
yeah, they'll graduate. But I think Kristen
I need
McCormick,
kids
I
to
think
not take the F, but thank you.
Kristen, he's 100% right.
I think we forget that Kristen McCormick idea to start this school was her idea. Wasn't Kevin's, wasn't any bunch of trustees, wasn't anybody's. It was Kristen McCormick's idea. No one thought we could do it.
Well, that's true. That part's true.
Kristen pulled a ragtag guy out of the central artery tunnel and said, would you do this? And then we had a creation. So I just think this young people need to know the never give up, the succeed anywhere, the greater good, all of that is based on a seed. And the seed was Kristen McCormick. And I don't think we should ever, ever forget that. All of us need to remember that.
You're too kind, honey. It was a collective effort, but thank you. I appreciate the words.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Kristen, for the opportunity to be part of the school that you helped create. And thank you for being its initial leader and putting it on such solid footing. And thank you to all the staff who keep thriving and all the board members who give so generously. It's been a real important part of my life to participate. And without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. So bravo to everybody. What an amazing year. And see you all some other time soon. I'm going to say bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Leah. Bye, Luigi. Bye, Mari.
Bob, I see you have your hand raised. Did you have something you wanted to share or ask?
Yes. I started at Neighborhood House about 22 years ago. And though I didn't work with Kristen at that time, I worked with Kevin, okay? And it was clear from day one that this was a unique school, okay? This school did not give up on kids, okay? Other charter schools, it's either you do the work the way it's supposed to be done, or you're out and you go back into the public school arena, okay? But in our charter school, okay, we worked with the kids. We worked, thanks to Kevin, we worked with the families, okay, to make sure that we were doing the best we can with the kids. And Kristen said, you know, the parents have entrusted their kids' education to us, okay? And I said to Kevin, my interpretation of that was, it's all about the kids, okay? And I am so proud to be here tonight and to be a supporter and a former member of the board of this school, because there is no place like it. And there's no place like the staff. There's no place like the executive director and all the other people and the teachers and the administration. This is truly a unique place. And I would say, as somebody once said to me, a good charity is one where you get more than you give, okay? And I definitely have gotten more than I've given with regard to Neighborhood House, so thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
I just want to say thank you again so much, just to have this many people show up, you know, on a Thursday evening when the weather is beautiful and there are so many other competing things that can draw your attention. It's a true testament to how important NHCS is to each of you as individuals and how important all of you are as individuals to NHCS. And I'm just really, really grateful to be spending this evening with you. And I look forward to when we can do this again next year, but in person. That'll be big. And I want to thank Nicole and Joanne and Anna, our development staff, for the lovely gifts that arrived in the mail for us to enjoy, and for putting on this program. And I want to thank Jamila and the I say seniors, but I really mean graduates who, you know, just I think gave you a real indication tonight about you know, what this high school has become and who these young people are as they're off on the next steps of their lives. And I want to thank Kristen for, you know, for being here and those really profound and amazing words. And once again, happy birthday. And I'm happy to stay on for a few more minutes if anybody has questions, but I want to honor your evening and know that it's getting close to 7 o'clock. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for being with us tonight, and thank you for truly being legends in our community. Welcome to the Legend Circle.
And thanks to our teachers who are here, the 20-year veterans who are in the trenches actually making this happen. I think one of the reasons that the values have stayed so consistent and brought forward is because of the longevity of the educators as well, right? So it's, I mean, you're the ones that are literally the living legends. You're living it every day and modeling that behavior. That's what the kids see, and that's what you brought year after year after year. God bless you. Thank you, Emily, Sean, Karen. Thank you.
Good
Bye,
night,
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Wonderful.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Love Camila.
Hello, my love.
Bye, Jimmy.
Bye.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Sean.
Summer, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Kate.